All right, guys, welcome back to Do Black and White, issue number one from Image Comics from 1994. This is a book I bought new. In 1994, this is a three-parter by Art Thibert and I believe Pamela Thibert. Yeah, story art. Yeah, exactly. So Art Thibert is a great artist, and I still like this 90s style. I believe this art evolved a little bit, which is cool. And he did a remaster, I think, on Indiegogo of this whole series, there's three books, like I said. He remastered, I believe, the colors and certain panels, updating the art. So yeah, it's good. Different different covers. And I'm not sure if he did also the volume two. So this is the volume two, by the way. Costume is way better, I think. The problem with this one is there's a cliffhanger with this book, but then it's getting canceled. So too bad we never see what's happening after this. So the question is, did the remaster or including a volume two to complete this story? I do not know. I don't have the answer to that. But we're going to focus on this one and see if this is actually good or not. I have something to say about it, but let's dive in. All right. So this is in Hong Kong, China, and this is some kind of a beer brewery owned by, that's a good one. Samsung is, I believe, his name. And it seems that, now this is where the questions begin, actually. They make beer, and it seems that the shipment are being attacked. I mean, why? It's beer, not secret technology or something. And and they transports the beer to how do you say, another country, I believe America or England. I'm not entirely sure. That's been so basically another company owned by Reed Blackett is taking in a lot of the beer, right? Importing beer, which is normal, right? A lot of companies doing that. But then suddenly they are under attack. I thought, why? They are just a beer company. Anyway, it seems that the technology is also pretty advanced. They're being attacked by robots, right? And they have science fiction weapons, which I like, but also have questions. So, okay, there's a voice says, hey, surrender or die, right? Kamasaya. Wait, so I thought the name was Samsung. Just give me a second. Maybe that's Mr. Samsung. Okay, so that's probably his first name. All right. Yeah, they're shooting at the robots, but it doesn't work, and they're getting destroyed. And now Samsung is running away for his life until he can get no further, and we see dead bodies here. But he's so this robot says, now you're gonna die, but then a voice says, no, I have not given the word for this one to die yet. So this guy's named Chang. Chang is supposedly dead. Somehow he should have died in prison 2 years ago. And so this guy is, the typical evil guy, and he says, I'm gonna decide when you're gonna die. He says, you will give this land to me. So I thought, okay, lands? What has that to do with the brewery? I mean, Kawasai, sorry, is it still Kawasai? Do I say that correctly? Kamasaya, sorry. Said, hey, what do you want with the brewery? He says, I don't care about the brewery. It's what's underneath that interests me, right? And he says, I should actually thank your niece for unwittingly showing me the secret many years ago. Okay. And that is Whitney. Whitney is this girl called White. Whitney, I pray for she will avenge what has taken place here today. But he says, that will be not possible because she is in, I don't know, some kind of a mental institution in Maltese. Is that America? I don't know. And so this this guy is saying, hey, let's talk about Mr. Chang. And she says, how is your eye, doctor? He says, do you realize the trouble you're in? She did a lot of criminal things, committed, and your actions against Mr. Chang is unbelievable. You're the worst paranoid schizophrenic I ever seen. And he also says that now this is a little bit weird, right? So he says, do you know that Mr. Chang is paying us to take very good care of you? You should be grateful. But then suddenly he contradicts himself by saying, by the way, you must wipe the memory that Mr. Chang wiped out your family from your minds, because Mr. Chang, who killed your family, died in prison fire 2 years ago. So wait a minute. If you are getting paid by Mr. Chang, but he died 2 years ago, who is then paying you to take care of her? I mean, he's dead, right? Does his company take over the payment somehow? How long does the payment last? 10 years, 5 years? I don't know. Anyway. So basically, Mr. Chang told the police that you tried to kill him because he wanted to purchase your brewery. You must realize that there were no hostile takeover attempts. Your mind distorted Mr. Chang's generous offer. But then something happens to her, and I said, okay. So her skin goes getting whiter and her eyes is getting red. So does she has any powers or not? And then we go to what's his name? Reed Blackett. Not a fan of the coloring, by the way. It's just, I like muted colors, but the coloring is not really doing it for me, to be honest. And he's looking ridiculous. And his butler, Gray, black, white, Gray, get it, say that he looks ridiculous. And he is here at the top of the building where she is being held, and he wants to free her because he believes what she's saying about Chang. How? Don't know. But somehow he wants to free her. And why is he here in this getup? So I think, is he a superhero? Is he a private detective? Does he know something about Mr. Chang? That he's a villain? And I don't know, right? But, this is probably a setup for something else. Also, speaking of bad costume design, in my opinion, why does he have a shorter glove and here and... That doesn't look really good. Anyway, so he says you need to come down here before you get spotted. I think this is a very weird panel, right? So he goes there to free her or something, or he wants to free her, and then he's getting whistled back by his butler. And then he needs to get out of here. I don't know. I would have probably tackled this scene a little bit different. Anyway, so Blackett goes back to his company, or Kamasaya company, but then in America, right? And they are, reading the part about, Whitney, about characters, condemning Miss Whitney, do a character assassination, call it news. All right. He says, the best way we can help Whitney is to keep a business running smoothly until this mess is cleared up. Wait a minute. What business? What is her business? Is she now the owner of Kawasaya Industries, or now that her uncle is probably out of the picture now? I believe it is, right? How does this work? And what is with this? Why do you put your time in your? I don't know. Anyway, so she says, "Hey, you look really good together. You need to hook up." And he says, "No, I'm a businessman. I don't have time for that, right?" But then, I don't know. Chang is here, and he says, "Employees, say hello to the new acting boss of Kamasaya Breweries." All right, and so he says, "Hey, you keeping meddling in my business? That would be bad for you if you don't want to, go into the employment line, applying for a new job." So Blackett says, "You need to go here." And then this woman is yelling at this bodyguard and she gets smacked in the face. Also, we have this typical 90s lettering and sound effects. right? So you punch him in the face, and he says, "Let me at him." "No, there will be a better time and place to settle this disgrace. You haven't made a fatal error in judgment, Blackett. I do not forgive transgression taken against me." Wait a minute, if you are the new CEO of the company, you just could have fired him right on the spot. Why don't you do that? She is also bleeding, which I think, how? I mean, you just smacks her, and I know that, I mean, if you're bleeding from the mouth, I can get that, right? But this is it seems like a cut, like a knife or a sharp object. Anyways, he says he's an evil man, and he knows it. And then Gray goes to the brewery for, I don't know, evidence that he can use against Chang. But then it sees Chang's men are dismantling this laboratory. I mean, this is, oh, wait a minute, is this, I can't believe this report happened. Oh, no, sorry, there's somewhere else, I believe. I believe there was a brewery, but it seems that is something else. Where is this? Sorry, I'm a little bit lost here. So is this the brewery or not? And they need to drill. Yeah, this must be the brewery, right? Because they are drilling for, that's what, below it, right? Because that's what Chang won. So he's reporting to Blackett. And then he goes to the mental facility again. And he says, "Don't make any noise and move my hand away from your mouth." I'm doing the Batman thing. He says, "Keep away from me, pervert." She says, "I'll eat your face." He says, "Who are you?" He says, "Hey, it's me, Reed. I've come to get you out of here." "What do you mean, hey, it's me? Do you know each other? How? When?" So many questions. But she's a little bit crazy, so he's taking the wrist off, and he says, "Get out of my way, Black. I don't have time to play patty cakes with you." And she's running away because he needs to go to save her uncle. Then he's getting grabbed by the guards, right? And then she is punching him away. And yeah. "Pardon me, please. I think this is my dance." "Dance? Is this a joke to you, Blackett?" Well, I agree with her. I mean, why would you say something that? Okay. "Here, rumble with this jerk. He seems like your type." So she's roasting him. I like that. And she's still running away. And then guards come here that looks, dude, for a mental institution, why? These looks like, I don't know, guards from a penitentiary with superpowered beings or something, but it's not. All right. So they are, beating the shit out of him. And so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, right? So he can do anything. And then he's doing this, really. So you tell me this guy is taking on 8 guys, also one of them flying in the air, gives me the impression that he has superpowers. Now, I looked into Google about this one because I wanted to know more about these characters. Because I think to myself, wait a minute, am I missing something? Is there maybe a book of a series before this one? Because it seems there is a lot of history and background that I do not know do not know about. I mean, do they know each other? How? And there's a lot of questions here. And why can he do that? I mean, what actually is he? Right? Is he a beer brewing company guy that takes beer from another country, importing them? Beer import guy? I do not know the words. But he also is doing, superhero stuff, although I don't think he has powers at all, because I didn't find any information about that this guy has superpowers or that Whitney has superpowers at all. Maybe they do. I do not know, but it's not really explained here. Again, could be in issue number 2 and issue number 3. But I have my doubts, to be honest. But this is not really possible. All right, so this guy says, "Hey, I'm going to kill you," right? And he says, "Shoot me or get the hell out of my way." Of course he's going to shoot you. He's not going to get the hell out of the way. So the dialogue is a little bit weird here. Again, that doesn't look really good. So, again, he says perfect timing. He said, "Move." Move it, the Maltese PD are on the way. He says, I was almost shot. And he says, I hate guns. Wait, what? So he says, I know that, sir. No disrespect intended, but would you please move your ass, sir? I really hate guns. If you really hate guns, then why have Gray a very big gun that helped you survive and escape? Should you hate him too? Or the fact that he uses guns? He works for you, right? So don't you condemn that he's using guns? It doesn't make any sense. Speaking of, what's this? I hate guns. I really hate guns. Uses guns in volume 2. Yeah, right. And I like the car, by the way. Anyway, so she says, hey, we need to find Whitney before her rage consumer. What do you know about her rage? What do you know about her past? So many questions. So, hey, where do we go? We need to go to Phoenix World Enterprises. And she has killed a bunch of men. Hired killers. I'm coming for you, Chang, she says. But then, I like this villains behind the big screens. He says, hey, look behind you. And she says, face me in person, you coward. This tin can isn't going to keep me from getting to you. You sanctimous little do-gooder. What do you want to hear? That I'm sorry? Well, I'm not. Your father possessed the land and he built on top of my dreams. Remember when we found the treasure, Whitney? No, because I wasn't there. I didn't see it. I don't see the flashback. Again, what happens before this? I mean, was she a little girl when it happens? Where was the treasure? What is her relationship? You know, did they hang out with each other? What's the deal? I knew then the piece of land was my destiny, my chance of greatness. Your family took that from me. For that, they had to die. What is a relationship to this guy, right? And she says there was no treasure. What we found were heinous weapons of destruction. And something that horrifying can never be used, or was never meant to be created, such like used. All right, so he says, enough, stupid woman. I'm going to kill you, right? And so he comes in. What's with the feet? So small. Anyway, now a word from the good guys, because he made this television joke. It's not funny. Saving you, bud, once again. And he's throwing some kind of a device. This causes an explosion. The robot falls back and grabs Whitney. I like that. Focus, Blackie. You can do this. You got to save her. What do you mean you got to do this? Are you uncertain about your abilities? But then he's getting shot from behind by Chang, and he's falling. And he says, you didn't understand, mystery man. I didn't want her to be saved. I want her dead, which is just where I want you. May your ancestors greet you both in hell. Leads us to the next issue. I think the art looks good. I think the art is very entertaining to look at. I like this. Has this very 90s nostalgia feel, which I'm a big fan of. The story, not so much, to be honest. I think I'm just jumped into a running story that I miss a couple of issues from. You know, it feels this is issue number 4 of a long running series, and you know, again, her costume looks great, by the way. I don't know what. Too many questions. That's what I'm trying to say. Guys, let me know in the comments what you think about it. I'll see you next time. Like, comment, subscribe. See you next time. Bye-bye.